Hello everyone, welcome to the yarn bowl. Today in this video we are going to see how to crochet this beautiful bubble wrap cowl. You can find the matching beanie hat and the fingerless mitten in my channel. The link is in the description box below. I have a similar pattern for child size as well. You can find the link in my Etsy page. It's in the description as well. Please check out the description for the written patterns. Meanwhile, if you are new to this channel, please do not forget to subscribe to the yarn bowl and click on the bell icon as well so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. So I'll be using one skein of this I Love This yarn in color parcel and bow for this adult size cowl, and I'll be using 5mm crochet hook. You can use any size 4 yarn for this project. I'll also need scissors. So this is the child size cowl worked in a same pattern. The written pattern of this child size cowl is available in the description box on my Etsy page. For adult size cowl, let's go ahead, build the foundation row, that is round 1. Go ahead, work a slip knot and work 80 chains. Go ahead, work 80 chains. And once you have worked 80 chains, make sure that your cord is not twisted, and go work slip stitch onto the first chain to make a ring. So once you have made the ring, make sure your work is not twisted, and then go ahead, work round 2. For round 2, I'm going to work a chain 3. So go ahead, work chain 3. So this chain 3 is considered as our first double crochet. And then we are going to work one double crochet on the third loop, that is the back bump of each chain. You can see the back bump right here. These are the V's on the front, and if you turn it to the back, you can see the back bumps for each chain. So we are going to work one double crochet on the back bump of each chain around. So with the chain 3, which is our first double crochet, work one double crochet on the back bump of each chain around. And then once that is done, work a slip stitch onto the top of our starting chain 3. So at the end of round 2, we will have 80 double crochet stitches worked on the back bump or the third loop. So once we have worked one double crochet on the third loop of each chain around, I'm going to work a slip stitch on top of our starting chain 3 to close this round 2. So at the end of round 2, as I told you earlier, we will have 80 double crochet stitches. So now that our round 2 is complete, let's proceed with round 3. So for round 3, we'll work a ribbed pattern from round 3, and then for round 4, and then we'll proceed with the main part of our cowl. Now for round 3, I'm going to work one back post single crochet and chain 2. So this back post single crochet chain 2 is considered as our first back post double crochet stitch. And then on the next, we are going to work one front post double crochet. So if you're wondering what this front post and back post double crochet is, I have a detailed video in my channel to explain this front post and back post double crochet stitch. And then On the next stitch, work 1 back post double crochet, and on the next stitch work a front post double crochet. So we are going to alternate between 1 back post double crochet in one stitch and 1 front post double crochet in the next stitch around. So I will update the link of the front post and back post double crochet tutorial in the description box. You can check that if you are wondering what this back post and front post double crochet is. So now you go ahead, work 1 back post double crochet in one stitch and 1 front post double crochet in the next stitch around. And once you are done, work a slip stitch on top of your starting back post single crochet, chain 2, which is our first back post double crochet stitch. So now I've done. You can see the ribbing that is getting formed. So this will match with that of our hat, the bubble wrap hat. So now I'm going to work 1 slip stitch on top of our starting back post single crochet, chain 2. So with this, our round 3 is now complete. Now for round 4, we are just going to repeat round 3. We'll work with 1 back post single crochet, chain 2, and then work 1 front post double crochet in next stitch, 1 back post double crochet on the next stitch around, and then work a slip stitch on top of our starting back post single crochet, chain 2 stitch to close this round 4. Continue round 4. I'll meet you at the end of round 4. Now for round 5, I'm going to work a chain 1 which does not count as a stitch, and then I will work 1 half double crochet on this same stitch, and then work 1 half double crochet on each stitch around. And once that is done, work a slip stitch on top of our starting half double crochet stitch to close this round 5. So at the end of round 5, we will have 80 half double crochet stitches. Now for round 6, I'm going to work a chain 1 which does not count as a stitch, and then we need to locate our third loop here. If you just twist your work, you can see the third loop on the side. I'm going to locate the third loop of our first stitch and work 1 half double crochet on it, and then I will work 1 half double crochet on the third loop of each stitch around, and then work a slip stitch on top of our starting half double crochet stitch to close this round 6. So at the end of round 6, we will have 80 half double crochet stitches worked on the third loop. Now for the next round, we'll work on a stitch called pebble stitch. We will see how to work that stitch. Now for round 7, I will work a chain 1 and turn your work to the wrong side. So we will always work pebble stitch on the wrong side. Now work 1 single crochet on the same stitch. Now yarn over. So we'll see how to work the pebble stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook on the stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook on the stitch, pull up a loop, 5 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook on the stitch, pull up a loop, 7 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all the 7 loops. Then 1 single crochet on the next stitch. Now if you turn to the right side, you can see a nice textured stitch which is called as pebble stitch. Now we'll work the pebble stitch again. Yarn over, insert your hook onto the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook on the stitch, pull up a loop 2 times. We will have 7 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all the 7 loops. So we have worked our second pebble stitch and then work 1 single crochet on the next stitch. So we are going to work 1 single crochet in one stitch and 1 pebble stitch on the next stitch around. And we are going to repeat this around, and once that is done we will work a slip stitch after working our last pebble stitch in our last stitch, and then work a slip stitch on top of our starting single crochet to close this round 7. So at the end of round 7 we will have 40 pebble stitches and 40 single crochet stitches. So now I'm going to close the round 7 by working a slip stitch on top of my starting single crochet. Now for round 8 I will work a chain 1 and turn to the right side again. So whenever we work a pebble stitch round, we will work a chain 1 and turn to the wrong side. For all other stitches, all other rows, we will be working on the right side. So chain 1, turn to the right side, and we will go ahead work 1 single crochet on each stitch around. That is 1 single crochet on top of the single crochet of the previous round, and 1 pebble stitch, 1 single crochet on the pebble stitch of the previous round. So ideally we are working 1 single crochet on top of each stitch of the previous row around, and then once that is done we will work a slip stitch on top of our starting single crochet to close this round 8. So at the end of round 8 we will have 80 single crochet stitches. So now I am gonna close my round 8 by working a slip stitch on top of our starting single crochet stitch. So now I will have 80 single crochet stitches at the end of round 8. So for round 9 and 10 we are just going to repeat round 7 and 8. That is 1 round of pebble stitch round and 1 round of single crochet round. Go ahead, repeat round 7 and 8 for round number 9 and 10. I'll meet you at the end of round 10. So now our round 10 is complete. I'm going to work a slip stitch on top of our starting single crochet to close this round 10. For round 11 it's going to be pebble stitch round again. I'm going to work a chain 1, turn your work to the wrong side, and I will work 1 single crochet on the same stitch, and then I will work 1 pebble stitch on the next stitch. And then I will repeat working 1 single crochet in one stitch and 1 pebble stitch on the next stitch around, and I will work a slip stitch on top of our starting single crochet to close this round 11. So at the end of round 11 I will have 40 single crochet stitch and 40 pebble stitches. So go ahead, work round 11. I'll meet you at the end of round 11. So now our round 11 is complete. I'm going to work a slip stitch on top of our starting single crochet to close this round 11. For round 12 I'm going to work a chain 1, turn to the right side, and then I will work 1 half double crochet on each stitch around. I'll work 1 half double crochet on top of single crochet of the previous round and 1 half double crochet on the pebble stitch of the previous round around. And at the end of round 12 we will have 80 half double crochet stitches. And once this round is done, work a slip stitch on top of our starting half double crochet stitch to close this round 12. So now I am going to close this round 12 by working a slip stitch on top of our starting half double crochet stitch. Now for round 13 I'm going to work a chain 1 and then I'm going to locate the third loop of the same stitch and work 1 half double crochet stitch on it. And then I will work 1 half double crochet on third loop of each stitch around. And once that is done I will work a slip stitch on top of our starting half double crochet stitch to close this round 13. So at the end of round 13 we will have 80 half double crochet stitches worked in the third loop. So now for round 14 to 20 we are going to repeat rounds 7 to 13. So we'll once again work a set of the same from round 7 to 13, that is the 3 rows of pebble stitch, 2 rows of single crochet and then 1 half double crochet row and third loop half double crochet row. So we're just going to repeat round 7 to 13 once again for round 14 to 20. Go ahead, work them. I'll meet you once that is done. So now we have worked until round number 20. So we have one more set of 3 rounds of pebble stitches and it looks good enough for our cowl. Now let's finish off by working the ribbing once again. So for that I'm going to work a chain 3 for round 21 and then I will work 1 double crochet on each stitch around. So this starting chain 3 is considered as our first double crochet stitch. And then go ahead, work 1 double crochet on each stitch around, and once that is done work a slip stitch on top of our starting chain 3 to close this round 21. So at the end of round 21 we will have 80 double crochet stitches. So now for round 22 I am going to work 1 back post single crochet stitch just like we worked at the beginning. So I'll work 1 back post single crochet stitch followed by a chain 2. So this is considered as our first back post double crochet stitch. So this back post single crochet with chain 2 is considered as our first back post double crochet stitch. And then in the next stitch work 1 front post double crochet and then in the next work 1 back post double crochet stitch. So we're going to repeat working 1 back post double crochet in one stitch and 1 front post double crochet on the next stitch around, and then once that is done work a slip stitch on top of our starting back post single crochet chain 2 to close this round 22. So at the end of round 22 we will have 40 front post double crochet stitch and 40 back post double crochet stitch. And once this round is complete work a slip stitch on top of our starting back post single crochet chain 2 stitch, which is our first back post double crochet stitch. So now for the last round, which is the round 23, we are just going to repeat our round 22. We'll start off by working one back post single crochet chain 2, which is our first back post double crochet stitch, and then work one front post double crochet stitch on the next stitch, and then alternate working between one back post double crochet in one stitch and one front post double crochet on the next stitch round. And once that is done, work a slip stitch on top of our starting back post single crochet chain 2 to close this round. So this is our last round. So I'm going to fasten off and you can weave the ends. So you can see how nicely textured this cowl is. So it's gonna be very warm for winter. It'll keep you warm, and the texture looks wonderful. So I'm gonna work a slip stitch on top of our starting stitch to close this round, and then you can weave your ends. You can fasten off and weave your ends. So once you've weaved your ends, you can attach your leather tag. You can sew in your leather tag to one end of your cowl. This is totally optional. If you don't want to add any tags, you can totally avoid it. So I'm just going to add this cute leather tag to it. I'm just going to sew it using a sewing needle. So that's it, our cute bubble wrap crochet cowl is now ready. And here is a matching beanie hat for this bubble wrap cowl. I have a video tutorial of this hat in my channel. I will update the link of this bubble wrap hat in the description box. You can check and make this as a set. And there is also matching bubble wrap fingerless mittens, and in the description you can find all these links for the patterns. And here is a same bubble wrap cowl, beanie hat and fingerless mittens for child size. This is a set as well. Don't forget to check out the description for all these written patterns and where you can find them. This is such a nice textured crochet cowl which will keep you warm for the winter, and it's a fun easy pattern as well. It looks like it consumes more yarn, but it does not. You can make the entire cowl in about less than a skein of yarn, and to make the entire set of cowl, beanie hat and fingerless mittens, you only need 2 skeins of this yarn. So don't forget to try this pattern. You will love it. Check out the link in the description box for all the written pattern links. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to subscribe to the Yarn Bowl and click on the bell icon as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.